We follow siblings Abby and Cody on a trip to their grandparents' house with their friend Marcella.
Hey yo, is that Penny Proud?
Is that like, I don't know, like the beta logo for this movie? Okay. I mean, it don't look bad. I was just wondering. I don't know.
That's Barney.
I know it's Barney. The whole world knows it's Barney, and he's a stuffed dog.
Immediately I noticed that in this world, Barney is very much well known. We're not explicitly told that the TV series exists, but we do see that Barney is available through retail, meaning that anyone has access to a Barney of their own. There are a lot of elements of this film that I enjoy separate from the Barney and Friends series. For one, the adventure aspect. My love for Barney's original home video series, Barney and the Backyard Gang, is grounded in the fact that it was, for the most part, adventure-based. They'd go on magical trips to the beach, the moon, the North Pole, and they'd always be out and about going on adventures and having fun doing things so fantastical. I love Barney and Friends, but when it hit, it basically cemented that aside from standalone home video releases and or special concepts for episodes, they'd always be at the school regardless of anything. The school was the main focus area, and we'd see this episode after episode for, 20 or so episodes a season. With the movie, we revisit what Barney was started on and visit many different imaginative areas with a goal in mind, and it's wonderful. This is not Barney and Friends on the big screen. It's its own feature, and you feel that with Barney's arrival.
Cody, oh Cody. What?
It's me, Barney. Won't you come play with me?
No.
Cody is portrayed as the cool kid. He doesn't care about playing pretend, soft things, or entertaining anything that doesn't actually exist. He berates the girls anytime they attempt to get him to play with them and their toy Barney. Cody hides the stuffed dinosaur in the shower, teasing them to bring him out by pretending, to which, I mean, come on.
Whoa, whoa!
Towel, please. Thank you, Marcella.
He knows my name.
What I like about this is it's personalized. Both Abby and Marcella are almost starstruck, as if the toy they'd played with their whole life up to this point had finally been realized. Barney and the kids immediately head out to the barn to play, while Cody remains in disbelief.
Real dinosaurs don't talk, and real dinosaurs don't laugh. 'Cause there aren't any real dinosaurs anymore.
Oh, well, I'm as real as your imagination.
Barney's insistence that he knows and understands that he himself isn't real carries throughout the entire film. Cody's reluctance to believe what he's seeing is actually happening is persistent. Not as long as I feel it should have been, however, but we'll get into that.
Barney isn't just a little doll. He's very big.
Oh, sure, he's big now, but you just wait. These fads come and go.
I love the grandparents because they're played by great actors and aren't portrayed like the adults from Barney and Friends. You're going to hear me compare the TV series to the movie a lot because I feel the need to stress that after 5 years of the show up to that point, Barney's Great Adventure is a breath of fresh air. The grandparents know of Barney. They don't know Barney. In fact, they're exactly as one of your own family members if you went to them proclaiming that you and your stuffed animal just had a play date.
You know, Cody, even for grown-ups, the real adventures in life start with a dream.
Hearing Barney speak candidly to someone that denies his existence is on brand to the character and something I wish happened more often. Barney points to a particular star in the sky, and after Cody wishes on the star to have a summer like no other, the star itself turns out to be a magical egg that lands in the barn next to the house. The next day, Barney appears, and Cody says,
You look...
Oh, thank you, Cody. So do you.
I like the unsureness of each other's intentions with these statements because it means that either Barney complimented the hell out of him or he looked Cody dead in his face and cooked him alive. They sing Old MacDonald because they're on a farm. Can we talk about the music? The soundtrack is very much specific to this movie. I love tracks like Imagine and We're Gonna Find a Way. But then there's tracks like Old MacDonald that exist just because it's a kid's movie. It's fine enough, but it almost feels out of place and slows the pace down a bit. At the same time, I don't feel like any song from Barney's library beforehand would have really fit in this film, aside from maybe a slower arrangement of Everyone is Special. No song from Barney's past appears in this movie aside from the obvious one. I mean, we'll talk about it later, and I'm not really complaining, because for the most part, it's pretty nice stuff. The crew find the egg in the barn and notice it glowing. The grandparents relay that a lady named Miss Goldfinch might know something about the egg, thinking the kids are once again just playing pretend. The kids find Barney, who just got done changing the diaper of the baby inside the house. Oh yeah, I forgot that happened.
If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands! Oh.
It's very sweet, and something I feel Barney's creative team could have put in specifically, because it's just a nice piece of character that they probably decided to throw in.
We'll be needing this.
Oh, hi.
Wait, where are you going?
To take the egg to Miss Goldfinch.
Oh,
Hurry
okay.
up.
Wait! I want Grandma and Grandpa to see him right now.
Oh,
Grandma!
but whoa!
This starts the great adventure of the film as they go off to learn about the egg as more colored rings start to glow. The egg ends up getting lost and the crew go on a wild goose chase to not only get it back, but return it to the barn it landed in before all the colors appear and it hatches. This leads them to a parade. Then an inside restaurant.
I have all the snowflakes for candy bars and milkshakes. Oh, what a snow that would be!
And finally a circus where the egg is thrown by a performer. It starts to rain and the gang are forced inside a tent with no knowledge of the egg's whereabouts.
You don't even want to find it. You never did.
No.
It was crazy kid stuff.
Wait, no.
What's wrong with just being a kid, Cody? What's wrong with that?
I don't understand this part all that much, and it's what I wanted to talk about. Cody's reluctance to believe in Barney and just using his imagination in general is not a gradual thing that gets improved on. There's a very stark, definitive point where you can tell he only wants to adventure, and that's great. We get to see him excited to figure out this magical egg and have fun with the girls, and it's nice. What bothers me is that it would have been a bit more interesting if we were given more of a reason to believe that he wanted to go off and explore, but maybe still had some slight animosity towards Barney and or the belief in his own imagination and what it can do. It also would have made more sense and given more of an impact for Abby's outburst here if Cody still had that hesitance to the girls wanting to find the egg itself. Here as it is with its context, it just feels a bit forced. Nevertheless, we briefly see Barney down on his luck, whether it be the unknown whereabouts of the egg or the kids throwing in the towel. It's brief, but it's there. Emotion. I wish there were more of it for him specifically, but again, it's there, and I appreciate that. It doesn't take long for Barney to get them all back on their feet and continue the search.
We'll solve the situation with our imagination.
They leave the circus and end up finding hundreds of hot air balloons, one with the egg stored in a cage with one of the final rings appearing to glow. Out of everyone there, Cody is the one to relay the idea of pretending a tree log is an airplane in order to reach the egg itself. Barney, Abby, and Marcella, of course, all thrown back by this. I love this.
It's gonna take some imagination. Right, Barney?
Right! Yes! Imagination!
The egg is let off the hot air balloon too soon, plummeting to the ground, prompting the gang to do just the same. Landing in a haystack back at the barn, the grandparents take notice and head over. The strength of Abby, Marcella, and Cody's collective imaginations lead to the reveal of Barney the Dinosaur to the grandparents, to which they can't believe their eyes.
Hey!
Yes, I know. A lot of hay.
Not only this, but they don't even have time to process anything that's going on as the egg is discovered, lost again, and finally landing in the barn thanks to Baby Bop accidentally catching it in her blankie. The egg hatches a small koala-like creature that the characters dub Twinkin. Virtually nothing is known about Twinkin aside from his ability to present the dreams of individuals around him for all to see.
Look, it's me.
Oh, is this your dream?
Yes, and I'm seeing it.
Cody and Barney have a heart-to-heart in one of the sweetest moments of the film.
I think you're pretty cool.
I think you're pretty cool too.
Twinkin travels outside spreading magic, almost as if to bless the house, which that's actually the first time I'm saying that out loud here, and I actually like that a lot. Barney leads them all in singing I Love You, which feels out of place. I honestly would have preferred the song not been in the movie at all. In the same way the song was unable to be sung in Barney's Imagination Island due to a lawsuit, I wish a new song was introduced here to take its place. It feels less like a song that fits the situation and more that it felt added only out of obligation. It's the song everyone knows about from Barney, so we have to sing it. I don't know, it just felt weird. After BJ and Baby Bop leave, everyone is surprised to notice that Barney is also no longer present.
Well, where is he?
Barney wouldn't just leave.
The baby, remembering him from before, notices that not only is Twinkin resting on the swing chair on the porch, but the Barney plush doll as well. Barney's eye sparkles towards the viewer, signifying him winking to the audience, as to say, I was here the whole time, you just imagined it. Now I want to thank my friends Kaylin of Terrific Tributes and Jen for opening my eyes to this perspective, that Barney himself was orchestrating the entire film. In the beginning, where Barney tells Cody that he could start his dream by wishing on a star and points at the sky, he points to a very specific star that appears. And as the star falls, Cody wishes on it and it turns into an egg, thus prompting the adventure. Throughout the film, you can see different hints of this. Barney leading them all to different points, continuing the journey that he started, leading them on an adventure they'd never forget. And then, of course, in the end, he just disappears, reimagining himself as a plush doll. Again, as if to say, I was actually here, but you just used your imagination. Also, now that we're talking about the ending, it's weirdly open-ended, and I love that. Barney being depicted as his plush self last brings so many questions. Where do they go from here? They're all okay and intact, nothing bad has happened. They can continue their normal lives now knowing their imagination is strong enough to wish Barney back into existence if they chose to. But also, Twinkin is now a thing. He was never a plush, so what happens to him? I assume he just lives with the grandparents now? Maybe Abby and Marcella take him around wherever they go? What if the news found out? Maybe Twinkin goes back into space somehow? Who knows? Barney's still around. Maybe Barney goes on adventures with him. There are so many questions whether this ending was intentional or not, and I'm kind of fine with that. As I mentioned earlier, I did not mention BJ or Baby Bop, at all, and that's mainly because they don't do much of anything in the movie, and actually carry something I don't like about this film. The fourth wall breaks. The movie starts with Barney, BJ, and Baby Bop talking about how they're in a movie, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's cute.
Oh boy, it looks like everybody's here.
Oh man, this is gonna be so cool.
Oh, I can't wait to eat popcorn and sing along and see the movie.
What I didn't really like is how this continues throughout the movie's entirety. The Baby Bop B-plot is that she's lost her yellow blankie. When she first appears early on, she looks to the viewer asking which way she should look, and it absolutely breaks the pacing.
Do you know where my blankie is? Oh, you do? Oh, where is it? It's this way?
This isn't just limited to her though. Barney also does this before they take to the skies on the tree log. It's a kid's movie, and I understand that they want to engage with the viewer just as to not lose their attention, right? I'm an adult, so me saying this, it really shouldn't matter, and I mean, but it's my opinion. I guess it only bothered me a little bit because they feel very unnecessary. This isn't something that happens in the Barney franchise up to that point. In fact, when it comes to normal home videos and TV show episodes, this would never really happen, aside from the Barney Says segment, which was never really meant for kids anyways, but for the adults that felt the show wasn't educational at all. Again, this movie is meant for very, very, very young children, so, I mean, what are you gonna do? BJ also doesn't really do much of anything. The juxtaposition is so weird, because while BJ and Baby Bop both are barely in the film and don't do much, they're both very instrumental to certain points of the plot. BJ is responsible for catching and throwing the egg out of excitement halfway through, continuing the goose chase to get a hold of it. If he was written out, the movie could have easily ended right there. Then Baby Bop is responsible for catching the airborne egg in her blankie by mistake. If she was written out, the movie would have resulted in a bad ending to which the egg hatches prematurely, ruining everything. Their inclusions very much felt like an afterthought. I do appreciate them at least being here, however. A Barney movie without them entirely would have felt somewhat empty. I do wish they had a stronger presence without their hindrances, but even still, I appreciate that an effort was made to help keep them in and breathe a tiny bit of extra life into the film. Barney's Great Adventure the movie made $12 million in the box office on a $15 million budget. It also would be widely lambasted for the time as well as many years later online. Regardless of the reasons why, this is a movie that I feel is extremely faithful to the core of what Barney is. A story of imagination, love, and adventure. You can experience amazing things by using your mind, even if your animosity is blinding in the beginning. Family is family, and you all support each other despite your disbeliefs. Again, Barney's Great Adventure is what Barney should look like on film, something of magic and wonder. A few faults, but nothing that brings it out of the ordinary. Maybe someday we'll be able to see the purple dinosaur grace the screen once again. But until then, we can continuously enjoy the love he brought to us so many years ago.
He's telling us he knows what my dream is. It's a special time, a special place, and sharing it all with the people I love.